for my second pick and the fourth overall of the Week 6 Sunday six-pack. I'm going with the New Orleans Saints. Home dogs plus 1.5 against the Cincinnati Bengals. Give me Dalton, give me Winston, give me Taysom. I don't care. I think this Saints team.
Anybody but Ian Book does not Ian Book.
I think isn't he on the Dalton? No, where did he go? He went somewhere. Some team like kept him on a roster, didn't they? I think the Eagles, yeah. So this is more of it's a buy on the Saints, but they won, so it's not like a buy low or anything. But it's really just kind of continuing to sell this Bengals squad who they went to the Super Bowl last year and they have regressed in a bad way. And you look at this matchup for, them versus the Saints. And first of all, the spot is bad for the Bengals. You got short rest after a tough, hard-fought divisional game on Sunday night. You got short rest going on the road against a New Orleans team who's now on its second straight home game after coming back from London. So they haven't. I mean, they've been chilling now, and you have on the offensive line for the Bengals, which has obviously been a problem, and Joe Burrow's taken a lot of sacks. So left tackle. You have Jonah Williams. He's given up the 5th most sacks among tackles at 4, tied for the 8th most pressures among tackles with 8. He's got to go up against Marcus Davenport. Then you flip over to the right side. A right tackle, you got Lyle Collins, who I know you've pointed out on many occasions has been just a complete liability this year. He's grading out 4th worst of 72 qualified tackles in PFF's grades. He's going to have to go up against Cam Jordan or vice versa. So I think the Saints, they haven't quite had a monster, monster numbers in terms of their pressures on the defensive line, but very good defensive line and just a brutal, nightmarish kind of matchup for these tackles and this line. And Burrow's not helping matters, obviously, but here's why I like New Orleans just schematically in this spot. They blitz at the 3rd lowest rate. And we know Burrow can eat up the blitz. He has a 119 passer rating when blitzed this year, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. When he's not blitzed, 83 passer rating, which is well below league average. If you have an 83 passer rating, you're talking about like backup territory almost. 5 touchdowns and 5 picks. So this Saints defense matches up well. They're at home. They can stop the run. So Mixon kind of got going last week, but they can stop the run. And regardless of who the quarterback is, which you can't really say this about many teams, but this Saints offense is going to get theirs. Like you got Taysom Hill doing whatever he does. Kamara's back and he's catching passes again, which is a good sight to see. Finally looks healthy. You still got a good backup in Ingram. You should get Thomas back this week. I don't know about Olave, but you should get Thomas, and you probably should get Landry as well, but they're pretty deep at receiver, which is another good thing. So just like this Saints team, think they match up well. I mean, I think these teams, it sounds crazy because the Saints team lost Sean Payton. They're on their backup quarterback, but you look at these two teams and I have this about a pick 'em, and that might even be generous. Like if this game plays out the way I think it will and the Saints win, I'm going to have these teams rated almost evenly after this week. So don't let the Super Bowl kind of cloud your judgment. This Bengals team is not what it was before. And I think this is a tough matchup for them against the Saints.
Yeah, this is I think it's a good spot to fade Cincy. They should have lost by a lot more last week. I think the Ravens missed a couple touchdowns too. I'm a bit concerned. Like the Saints just still aren't getting as much pressure as I thought, but they don't blitz, which is good. But that is a bit concerning. But Higgins also is banged up. He couldn't really go last week against the Ravens, so we'll see. I mean, he tried to go, then he was limited the rest of the way. So that would obviously not help things. The play calling for the Bengals just continues to be horrific. Down by the goal line. I don't know what they're doing, but they're just trying to run in the walls too much. And you could get away with that a little bit more against the Ravens run D than the Saints. So good luck if they try that again. And that's one of the reasons the Bengals have gone under 10 straight games. Crazy. Them and the Colts. The Colts have gone under 10 straight games too. The longest streak, for what it's worth, over the past 30 years of any team going over or under. The 2010 Cowboys went over 12 straight.
That's crazy.
So we'll see if either the Bengals or the Colts can break that and get to 13. But yeah, just the play calling. Burrow is not really playing with a ton of confidence because of the offensive line and the play calling, and it's just not a great situation right now with Cincinnati. They certainly have a ton of talent, can still turn it around. That offensive line just has to figure it out, and the play calling needs to be better. And it ended up being better last year at the end of the year. So we'll see if that's what it takes again. But yeah, I don't disagree going with the Saints here. For sure. Fading the Cincinnati team is not a bad idea.
I actually, like, let me be proud. I actually had something about special teams written down for the Saints. So
wow.
the Saints are actually better in offensive DVOA than the Bengals through 5 games. They're 20th. Cincinnati's 25th. And then they both have top 12 defenses. So we just have to hope that New Orleans gets some special teams regression, because New Orleans is 32nd in special teams DVOA. But a lot of that is Will Lutz has only hit 5 of 9 field goals. He obviously had the doink in London, but he's a career 85% kicker, 86% in New Orleans. So you would think that would regress. But that's kind of been an issue, but they got Taysom healthy now, so he can return some kickoffs. So I think the special teams should trend up, but that's kind of been like a hidden thing that's been hurting New Orleans and some, but probably a lot of it to do with that Panther game, where it's just like error after error. But yeah, had to throw that in there.